Last week's 10 underrated horror movies that you might not have seen but should was a smash hit. Thank you to all of you that have viewed it, liked it, commented. A bunch of new subscribers. We went over 200 subscribers for the channel, so I really do appreciate that. And because of that, what I wanted to get to is I want to give you another horror movie each day, at least up until Halloween. It is that time of year. Some horror movies that may have flown under the radar that you haven't seen that you absolutely should, that really probably could have been on that list as well if I could have put 20 movies in a movie with only 10 on a list. And the next one is One Cut of the Dead. This is a 2017 film. And it is one of those movies that if you haven't heard anything about it, that is fantastic. You really shouldn't know too much about it before you see it. And trust me, that is part of what makes it so special. In fact, I even chopped up what you're seeing here so as not to give too much away because there were even spoilers in the trailer. First of all, welcome back. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Really, really do appreciate it. So, on the surface, One Cut of the Dead, it looks like your typical low budget zombie movie. In this case, your low budget Japanese zombie movie. But within the first few minutes, it becomes clear that this is not just another run-of-the-mill horror flick. It is not just another run-of-the-mill zombie movie. What unfolds is actually one of the most clever, one of the funniest, one of the most downright original takes on both the zombie genre and the art of filmmaking itself. Yeah, really interesting. One Cut of the Dead, it's a movie that takes a simple idea and turns it into something brilliant. It starts as chaos. It is a wild, energetic, what am I even watching kind of experience. And by the time it's over, you're going to be smiling. You might even be cheering. It's the kind of film that completely redefines what you thought you were watching halfway through. And it does so with so much creativity and heart that it is truly impossible not to be impressed. Now, look, without trying to spoil anything, what does make this movie so great is how it celebrates the passion and the stress and the pure insanity of making movies. Yeah, it is not just a zombie movie. It's a love letter to zombie movies, but it's also a letter, sorry, to filmmaking itself, to the people who pour their blood, sweat, and tears into creating something wild, something unforgettable, even when everything is going wrong, which of course, if you know anything about filmmaking, absolutely is true of low budget filmmaking. See The Evil Dead, for example, with Sam Raimi. The cast brings a whole lot of charm, a whole lot of authenticity that you can't help but root for these characters. The humor lands perfectly, the energy of the film, it never dips. The way the story unfolds, it is so unique that you're going to want to watch it again and again just to catch all the clever details you might have missed the first time around. It is one of those films. And here is something as well. Critics, I'm not a huge fan of the whole, you know, review sites, whether it's IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, whatever it might be. I think we've all seen they can be gamed a little, but sometimes when it's so overwhelming like it is here, the critics and fans alike absolutely loved this movie. 7.6 on IMDb for a zombie movie, 86 on Metacritic, a incredible 100% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. That's right, 100%. And even over 500 audience reviews give it an 84%. No small feat for an unconventional low budget film like One Cut of the Dead. But even those numbers truly don't do it justice. It's one of those movies that people talk about and recommend because it's just that much fun. It is that inventive. One Cut of the Dead is a perfect reminder that you don't need a huge budget. You don't need big stars to make something amazing. You just need this creativity. You need this passion for the story. And you need a little bit of willingness to take risks for sure as well. It is hilarious. It is heartfelt. It is full of surprises, and I'm telling you, the less you know going in, the better the experience is going to be. And look, if you're a fan of horror movies, zombie movies, horror comedies, horror zombies, horror, yeah, horror zombie. If you love Shaun of the Dead or you love Dead and Breakfast, which by the way is one of the 10 movies on that list that I put out last week, underrated horror films video. I'll try and remember to add to it at the end of this video so you can see that, or you just love seeing something that's different, that's totally fresh, maybe a little unpredictable. One Cut of the Dead is an absolute must see. cult favorite for a good reason or, developing into one. It was a hit in Japan, by the way, so I should say cult favorite in the US. Once you've seen it, you're gonna understand exactly why people are talking about it and why they love it years later. Like I said, it crushed it in Japan. I think it earned something like over 1,000 times its budget. It's sort of like think of the Blair Witch Project, how groundbreaking that was, and the low budget that it was, and what it did in the theater. That's kind of like One Cut of the Dead. Not that they're the same type of film, but the One Cut of the Dead in terms of what happened over in Japan had a very limited release in North America. It only did like just over 52,000 in the US and Canada. Anyway, grab some popcorn, turn off the lights, get ready because One Cut of the Dead is not just a movie, it is an experience. Trust me on this. In fact, it may be the most fun you ever have watching a horror film. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Go check out One Cut of the Dead. I promise you won't be disappointed, and I will talk to you in the next video.